YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I have a Syracuse knife to show you. Now, to be fair, you probably have seen one of these on another Swiss Army centered channel called Swiss Army Grizz, and I actually knew about these for quite a while, and he recently picked up, essentially, I believe it was the Super Tinker style, but he and I were talking about these knives, and I mentioned I had found one of these on eBay, and he was pretty impressed. And so he may be trying to pick one of these up, and you might see one of those on his channel. But we've been talking off and on about what we like about these knives, what we don't, and how impressed we are for the quality that you get here. Now, first off, this is a Syracuse Knife Company knife from Poland, but these were actually imported into the US by Camillus, and it's very interesting to see these knives in the flesh because they actually take more of the design cues from vintage Wenger knives than they do, I would say, Victorinox knives. Now, on this knife here, I have actually polished the scales. I have oiled it. All this grime and stuff you see on this is actually mineral oil. This knife needed a lot of work. I polished the back springs, and I have also polished the blades. Now, let me try and open a few of these blades here because I tightened all of these pivots. I repined the pins, and I did a whole one over on this knife, but when I did that, I tightened it all up, and I was not really expecting how tight it actually got. So here we have a 4-turn corkscrew here, and to be fair, this is a pretty good corkscrew. I'm not impressed with the finishing overall, but it is much better than most copycat Swiss Army knives. And then you get a very nice and a very serious awl here, very thick, very usable. Great spring tension there as well. And then you get this very nice can opener. Now this can opener here is very thin, but it definitely does the job, and it does it very quickly. This can opener does a very good job of opening cans. Then on the other side, we have our cap lifter, but this actually is taking design cues from the Victorinox can opener, and it has a attempted wire stripper in there. I'm probably going to sharpen that up a little bit, but it does have a slight bend in there where you could have stripped wire, and then you also have the wire stripper right there. So that is the cap lifter. Now I'm going to open up the toughest tool on here off camera here because, to be honest, this thing is very slippery, and opening this is going to be very tricky. Now I'm going to see if I can do this without cutting myself, and I just don't know if I'm going to get it because the spring tension is incredible. Let me see what I can do here. And I am just doing this off camera so I just don't cut myself. Okay. Wow. The scissors on this have an incredible spring on them. But these scissors are more reminiscent of the vintage Wenger scissors with the nail nick near the screw than the Victorinox ones. And it has a very nice, heavy duty leaf spring there. Now these scissors I have not polished and I have not sharpened, but they do a wonderful job, and they have an incredible snap. Very strong, very strong. Now another one of the blades there on this is the fish scaler. Now, to be fair, this fish scaler is actually done very well. You have a blade that tapers down into this nice sharp webbing here, and I believe this would do a great job at scaling a fish. And then you have a hook disgorger there. Then right next to that you have your saw, which is, I believe, more reminiscent of a older Wenger saw than a Victorinox one. And the only reason I actually have all these blades covered in oil is because I do not believe them all to be stainless. And the next one here is going to be one that's going to break all my nails, and that is the file. Now this file had a ton of rust on it, and I cleaned that up pretty well, but this here has, I don't know what steel it is, but it is a very high carbon steel. This thing just started rusting with a little bit of water on it, so I covered this thing in oil. But this really has nice sharp teeth over here. The file sides are very aggressive, a very effective setup right there. So you have the saw, you have a file, and then you have your fish scaler. And then the last two, as I try not to drop this oily knife, is the main blade. Now I have sharpened this main blade, so it's very, very sharp, but you can see there, Syracuse Knife Co., and then nothing on this side. But this blade here is in great condition. And then we have the small pen blade. And then here you have 361 product of Poland. So this one here is a very nice attempt at a Swiss style knife, and I have to say I'm very tempted to carry it. But one of the really unique parts of this knife is this added feature that actually is more reminiscent of older Victorinox knives. And if I can get at it, it is the long nail file, and if I can even get it, because that thing is really caught in there very deep. Let me see if I can get this thing, because I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but this nail file here is very, very hard to get. Okay, but here is the long nail file. This thing is very effective. Then you have a nice nail cleaning tip here. But this is very, very interesting because this feature is a feature you would see on 1930s Victorinox knives, 1940s, 1960s, until probably the 70s. But having that nice long nail file is really, really nice. But it's very hard to get to. So that's one downside. But I thought you guys would enjoy seeing this knife. I apologize again for all the oil on it, but this thing, I'm afraid, is going to rust on me if I don't do that. But I thought you guys would enjoy seeing this one. It is a very good competitor to a Victorinox, I feel, especially if you got this brand new and it was all tight. I believe it to be a good quality knife, and all the springs, liners, everything on here is stainless steel, so it's got a lot of weight to it as well. I have not replaced the key ring. I will probably throw a Victorinox one on there, and I am very tempted to carry this one. It does a lot of things right. It does a few things wrong, but that's only because of the, well, I'm not going to say shoddy build, but because of the crudeness of the assembly. So other than that, it is a fantastic knife. Now, you're probably wondering, how much did I pay for this knife? I paid around $35 for this. So that is not bad considering all the tools that you get, the quality that you're getting, and it is a knife that you could technically still use today. So till the next one, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.